which is taking care of their own tasks. People will only expect you to give them something, which is the second point. The Stoics say that it's important to remember that real worth comes from acting in a way that is good and logical, not from just doing what other people want. The moderation and giving in a balanced way help you stay in charge of your actions and keep you from getting into habits that hurt your mental health. You've heard your whole life that people are creatures of habit, and this couldn't be more true. People are made to adapt to a pattern, a way of life, and a symphony of things going on around them. The idea of the comfort zone comes from this desire to change. This means that if you're always giving, the people you help will expect you to give them something all the time. You'll lead them into their comfort zones, and they won't have to do many of their responsibilities because you'll be there to do them. If you don't value yourself, no one is likely to look you in the eyes and tell you to think more about yourself. At least, don't expect this kind of empathy from the people you help because they'd stick to their own Robin Hood, which would cost them a lot in their lives. Third, your goals will not be taken into account. The Stoics said that it's important to live by reason and virtue, to set limits, and to put our own responsibilities first if we want to stay in balance and not give up our identity and well-being for other people. If you put everyone else's needs before your own, you may end up running away from something inside you that hurts and scares you. How do you feel when you spend the weekend alone or come home every day, knowing no one is there to greet you? If you're doing so many different things because you want to get away from yourself, the blow will be twice as hard. On one hand, you'll have to face yourself sooner or later, and on the other, your bad mood will get worse as you start to put other people's needs before your own. Self-care is one of the most important parts of being healthy. Before you can help others feel better, you need to make sure you're happy, spoiled, and well cared for. That is, you should never give someone a chocolate unless you first really enjoyed one yourself. Similarly, you shouldn't offer to clean a friend's house until you've cleaned your own and watched a good movie while sipping wine. The rest of the world comes after you. Fourth, people will think you are weak and treat you that way. Stoicism tells us to work on being strong and in charge of ourselves. By setting limits and practicing self-discipline, we can show others that we are committed to our own responsibilities and ideals, earning their respect instead of being seen as weak. If you help other people too much over time, you might be seen as an expert in the area where you work with others. However, you might be making the exact opposite impression. When you don't set limits, people start to see you as weak, just like the person who opposes a boss so much that they'll come to you to get rid of their responsibilities because they know you won't say no. On the contrary, as soon as you use this magic word, they will start to feel something for you they never thought they would respect. You'll have a lot of people who only come to you when they need something. Stoicism teaches us how important it is to be smart and wise in choosing who to help. With self-control and perspective, we can tell the difference between real people and those who want to take advantage, so we don't waste our time or energy on things that don't help. People who thought you were a good friend may suddenly only want to hang out with you when they need something. If you think about it logically, it's not so unlikely that this could happen to you, since most people don't invite their employees or co-workers to have coffee with them, let alone a beer. What's going on with you makes sense, but that doesn't mean it's fair. You need to learn how to handle the methods I'll tell you about at the end to keep people from taking advantage of you. Sixth, you'll only get people who want something and never those who want to give. With patient judgment, we can build relationships that are real and good for both parties. People come into our lives because their energies match ours. If we vibrate low, we attract people who are negative, depressed, and have dark souls. When our vibrations are high, we draw people who are full of good energy, kindness, excitement, hard work, and joy. Because of this, when we give to everyone, we lose so much energy that we start vibrating at a low frequency. This makes needy people feel drawn to us, as well as opportunists who don't even want to help, they just want to take what they can from us and leave without even saying thank you. Seventh, you could end up getting hooked on something. The Stoics taught people to be calm and in charge of themselves. Self-discipline in giving keeps us from getting stuck in bad habits and allows us to maintain a good relationship with our actions and choices. When shortage is a regular part of our lives, the need for something grows, which is the best way to get addicted. One day, someone close to you might notice that you drink too much or gamble too much. Pay close attention to what someone who cares about you says, because your first instinct may be to get mad and deny that you have a problem. However, this is how people usually act when they're so caught up in their own problems that they can't see the reality of the situation. Always remember that people who care about you want what's best for you, so pay close attention to what they say, because they're trying to help you stop falling and move forward. Eighth, you'll make people think twice. Stoicism tells us to do good things, no matter what other people think of us. By focusing on living in line with our beliefs and principles, we build a good image that can withstand false accusations. No matter how much we'd like things to be different, the truth is that there aren't that many kind people in the world. So if you are kind, people will be suspicious of you rather than impressed and thankful. It won't be long before your kindness makes people wonder what's going on with you and what plans you're hiding. This could mean you've met a group of suspicious people, but it's more likely they're just being honest. Most people who want to help too much are hiding such evil plans that it's best to stay away from them and refuse their help. Now, let's look at what you can do to stop people from taking advantage of you. Strategy number 1, pay attention to how you feel, because it's telling you something. Based on the Stoic idea of self-awareness, pay attention to how you feel. The Stoics thought it was important to think about yourself, to understand your feelings and desires. By paying attention to your emotions, you can tell if you're giving too much and wearing yourself out mentally. This allows you to shift your focus and find a good balance. How does it make you feel to help other people? Thinking about yourself and putting yourself first is a kind act in itself. If you feel too busy, tired, angry, or used, it's time to listen to your emotions and figure out how the help you're giving is affecting your health. Plan number 2, don't be afraid of the word no. Following the lessons of the Stoics, you should realize that your time and energy are valuable and need to be used wisely. Self-control can be shown by saying no when you feel overwhelmed or when a request is unfair. Even though no often has negative connotations, it's essential to set boundaries. If we don't learn to say this word when necessary, pessimism can take over our lives. Practice in front of the mirror and remind yourself that saying no is a way to regain your freedom and avoid unnecessary risks. Strategy number 3, have time and space for yourself and respect them. In line with Stoic values of self-discipline and self-respect, it's essential to carve out time for yourself. Engage in activities you love, whether it's exercising, drawing, listening to music, or sipping tea. Make sure to finish your responsibilities quickly so you can enjoy this time. If someone asks for help during this time, you can either politely decline or offer to help later, but make it clear that your time for yourself is non-negotiable. Strategy number 4, identify energy vampires and distance yourself from them. In following the Stoic principles of self-discipline and wisdom, it's important to recognize which relationships are beneficial and which ones drain you mentally. By staying away from people who constantly sap your energy without adding anything positive, you protect your own well-being and demonstrate Stoic self-control in relationships. Energy thieves overwhelm you with complaints and negativity. Don't waste time trying to help them, as their problems are often self-inflicted. Conclusion: according to Stoic wisdom, balance is always the best approach, even in generosity. If we give too little, we risk being seen as selfish. If we give too much, we end up drained of energy, time, and even money. Seek balance between caring for others and caring for yourself. And if ever in doubt, remember the magic word no.